Look at this, fog's getting thicker. It's sun's starting to go down. Or both. It's getting dark. But there's still time to share, right? Still time to get some emails out. Okay, listen to this one. Question from Scotland. Dear sir, I enjoy watching your videos and never realized how traumatic it has been for all of your experiencers, including yourself, to have an encounter with one of these beings. I've never had much experience or love for the outdoors, as I am a type to take bug spray out when gardening, but I'm deeply sorry and sympathetic to everyone who's been affected and think it's wonderful that you have given them a safe place to talk. I have two questions for you. I don't know if what I'm about to ask you will come across well, but I hope you'll understand what I'm asking. Number one, having learned from your stories of your early hunting, you are mostly self-taught in hunting techniques and have had them refined over the years by time and/or experienced hunters. My questions is from the time of your first experience to now, do you think that you would have had as much ability following your gut sixth sense if you had not had that Bigfoot experience? To clarify a bit, had you not had that experience, would your sixth sense still be something that you would advocate to develop? Number two, as a result with your experiences with Bigfoot, have you found that your instinct for danger has increased towards a greater awareness of Bigfoot and less concerned with wild animals? I hope that you can answer these questions. I'm sure in time I will have many others as will your other viewers. Sincerely, Danny. All right, Danny, thanks for your email, man. I never really thought about that much. I never really thought about that in the past, but kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because I came across that being, I became aware of those beings at a young age before I ever took on guiding. And I never try to sling my dick around from what I've done, pulled off hunting or guiding. It's not an ego competition for me. It's what I love to do. But when I look back in it, I've pulled off some things. I've pulled off numerous things with my hunting career that not many other people have. Let's just put it that way, all right? And it does make sense because from the time I was 17, when I first became aware of these beings, and that made my awareness boom. So it would probably make sense that that has had an impact on my outdoor career for sure. For sure. And the sixth sense, when I look back on the sixth sense, one of the times I was very aware of it, I don't think it was this, if it wasn't the year that I had that thing looking at me, it was a year before. And there was a large buck I was after with my bow. I used to have to go along this horse trail. Excuse me. I used to have to go along this tight horse trail in thick timber in Vancouver Island. And I'm going along the trail. I used to sneak in this trail. It's where this big guy, he'd be bedded in this thick bush in there somewhere. And I wait till after about 9 o'clock, 10 in the morning, and I go sneak it through there. Real slow. I mean, so slow, it's ridiculous. And more times than often, I'd blow him out of there. I'd scare him out. And then I'd leave for a few days, and I'd come and try it again. Or I'd leave for a week, and I'd try it again. And then finally one day, I'm going along that trail, and I already got an arrow knocked in my bow. And I'm slipping along that trail like this. That slow, looking everywhere, and all of a sudden I just stopped dead, and I knew that buck was looking at me. I'll never forget it. It was probably the first time I was aware of that absolute pure sixth sense, gut feeling. And I looked to my left, and 90 degrees to my right out of my peripheral, there he was laying down still watching me go by. And he was about 23 yards or something, 24 yards. And I looked away, I drew my bow back, and I got him. But that was probably the first time I was aware of my sixth sense, your gut instincts. I never forgot it. So, but it's hard to say. I'm not certain if that was before or after my first encounter of these things. What was the next question? Something about I'm more being aware for the natural predators as much as those things, I think, something like that. When it comes to natural predators like grizzly bears, grizzly bears would be potentially my number one concern when I'm in the mountains of British Columbia. Black bears, not so much. Wolves, not at all. Cougars, they outclass us so fiercely. You just don't even worry about it. You'll never predict where they are. They will see you way before you see them on average. And if a big cat wants your ass, he's going to come and take it. So I don't really, and it doesn't happen that often. It's more kids you need to worry about than dogs with big cats here in British Columbia. Grizzly bears, I know the habits of grizzly bears. I know where they eat. I know where they den up. I know where they feed. I know what they do when they're rutting, which means when they're mating. I am very aware of the intimate relationship they have with ravens. So it's just second nature to me now. I don't run around paranoid or terrified of natural known predators. I just don't. I know their habits. I know where they are on average, and I know where I should avoid or how much noise I should make going up a trail with the wind in my face and a creek beside me, or when to stay on my horse and when to walk. I already know all those things. So, but when it comes to these beings, I think about it more where I am right here, right now, at home, because there's so many. There is a group of them, or who knows how many groups of them are here year-round. The sightings are off the chart, and I do have a handful of areas where I've had experience with these things. I just avoid those places. I just don't go to those places. I still go remote. I do have one of my favorite hunting spots. These things are there. These beings are there, and but so is one of the largest deer I've ever seen in my life. So I keep on going there, and I force myself to go there. But other than that, some other places where I've had experience with these beings, I just don't go there anymore. I let them have it. I would go to those places again, but I think I just don't go there so that I don't up the chances of me having a bad experience that'll possibly ruin all this for me. I don't want it ruined for me, right? I can spook myself out in the night at home when I think about where I got to go in the morning, and spook myself out enough that it'll stress me out until I get there. Then I get out of my truck, then I'm fine. But if I know these beings are around some certain areas and I've had experiences with them that has intimidated the shit out of me, for me it's like, okay, note taken. It's like a bear that comes in my backyard. He does it a few times, he's going to be in for it. So I let him know it. I don't go kill him right away, but you let him know it. So you got to take it. It's not only you give that, you got to receive that sometimes too. And some of these places I go to, I've received that. Note taken. See you later. Have at it. You can have her. I'm out of here. I don't need them throwing a log at me. I don't need them chasing me. You know what I mean? I just don't need that. I'm good. I don't need an 8-9 foot tall, 600-800 pound being trying to intimidate me even more than they normally would just from standing there. I don't need one of those things growling or screaming at me, throwing rocks at me, and chasing me. So I avoid it when I can. Is it going to happen again in this lifetime? Will it happen to me in this lifetime? It's just like I tell everybody. It's just a countdown for me. It's not a matter of if. It's just a matter of when. When it's going to happen. I know I'm going to have a face-to-face eventually. I know I am. I'm doing just here, right here. I'm doing the coastal mountains of British Columbia. I do 30, 60, 90 days straight, solid 90 days around here, and then throughout the year I'll probably do another 100 days here in the mountains, right? So it's inevitable. It's going to happen. I'm usually by myself, I'm remote, and I don't go where people go. But listen to me babble. All right, well, hopefully that answered your questions, man. There's good questions, and I have a feeling that probably every single outdoors person who has had an experience with these things, your sixth sense, your gut instincts, gotta get turbocharged for the rest of your life. There's no way out of it. They just do. There's no way out of it. Unless you're absolutely numb between the head and you're not a survivor. Right?